Well, hi, guys.
Well, hi, Britt. Welcome to Miss Willa's Book Club podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We all got our wines.
Yes.
That's right.
We're doing rosé tonight, but we hear you're doing red. What kind of red wine are you doing?
This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. This is called Tribute wine.
I love
My
it.
husband likes to pick cool wines that like look cool at the store, and he'll like bring them, and I'll just try them out. They're
Low-key
all very
same.
equally good, you know.
That's how I am
But
too.
yeah, that's what this is.
Do you pick wine based on the label? It's the right way to pick wine.
He does.
He does.
He does. I don't. I have like my typical wines that I like. Like I like 19 Crimes.
That's good.
I love Menage a Trois wine.
Oh, yes.
I almost pulled that out
That's my
tonight.
favorite. But those are my favorites.
I
But
love
he likes
it.
to pick different labels. That's just his thing.
Oh,
Fun.
so very hard-hitting question. What's your favorite like grape of wine?
Oh,
Wow, that was a tough question.
I know.
that is a tough question. Were we discussing no tough questions here?
Well, I'm coming in with the tough ones.
I don't even
I'll
think I
be
even know
honest.
what grapes are in different
like
wines.
no-
Like if it was like Cabernet or Pinot Noir or like
Merlot.
those are all like the types.
Cab,
Yeah.
I prefer a Cabernet or a Merlot.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
But Merlot has to be like for a special occasion, not just for an everyday thing.
Oh yeah, because you have to get a good Merlot.
Yes, it cannot be a $9 bottle.
Oh
It
yeah,
has to be good.
Agreed. Absolutely.
I'm
great
apparently
taste.
not as distinguished as you guys. I will drink pretty much any wine.
Also, what kind of like grocery stores do you guys have down there? Because they probably have Meiomi.
Oh, we love Pinot
What's that?
Noirs.
It's a Pinot Noir, and it is
Pinots.
So
top
we
tier.
have we had Trader Joe's. We have we just got an Aldi.
Oh,
The best. I
It's
love
literally
Aldi.
right by my house, and we have not been there yet at all.
oh my gosh,
Oh, you gotta go.
the best.
I know. And we have
produce.
some like local, we have like little local grocery stores, and then we have like Walmart.
Okay.
But usually it's the local stores that we go to, because here you don't have to go to a liquor store. You could just go in the grocery store and just like go pick it out.
Ours just changed
That's
to
it.
that. Like it wasn't like that when we moved here, but now you can buy wine at the grocery store.
But you can't buy liquor.
Yeah.
You
But
still
not
have to go.
liquor.
You
Okay.
still have to go to the liquor store or like Sam's Club and like big box stores.
Yeah.
Have liquor.
Right.
But yeah,
Well,
Awesome. We love good wine talk.
clearly.
I love it. Well, Britt, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our podcast friends about yourself.
okay. Well, I'm from Louisiana. I am a mother to a beautiful 3-year-old little girl. We call her the Ellie Tornado because she just like leaves messes everywhere.
Yeah.
But she's super sweet. Sometimes she says things and I'm like, who taught you that? Like she told me earlier, she was like, Mommy, you're supposed to say excuse me. And I was like, you are right. I'm supposed to do that. I'm also a full-time teacher. I've been teaching, this is on my 9th year, so it's been
my
almost 10 years of
gosh.
teaching. And I teach 4th grade, which is a good time. They keep you on your toes. And what else? I met my husband in college, and so we're college sweethearts. We've been together for 12 years
Wow.
and married for 6.
Dang.
Maybe.
That's so sweet.
That's
I
very
think
sweet.
he's sweet sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like today, he's sweet, bathing her, putting her to bed so I can talk to y'all. And then I started writing I've always loved writing, but I really started writing during COVID after I had Ellie. And then that just kind of took off from there.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
I love that.
It was a really tough time, like after I had her. and my doctor, because like I had her in February,
Okay.
and then COVID happened in March. Like everything just shut down in March,
Yeah.
and my doctor was like, "You need to have some type of outlet at home that you can do something." She was like, "What's something you like to do?" And I was like, "Well, I like to write. Like I've always journaled and made little stories and things like that." And she said, "Well, you should probably do that."
Oh.
So I just started like writing out like ideas and plots, and then I just started writing as like just an
It's
outlet,
like,
just a way
yeah.
to kind of heal through this like motherhood thing that was new, and then being at home and not having anybody, it was just me and my husband.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of took off from there.
Oh my gosh. That is actually such a sweet story
Yeah.
because I think back and I was alone during COVID as well. And so I completely get like you just have these big feelings that you just like need to get out.
Yeah. And it's like motherhood in itself is challenging.
Mm.
And then you put motherhood and then that happening together, and it was
Oh.
like, what are we supposed to do?
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yes.
But we
crazy.
did. We made it through, and it was good. And I really need to send my doctor my book. I need to like give it to her and be like, "Hey,
Oh.
thank you for making me do this. I appreciate
Oh
it."
my gosh, I love it. So you started writing A Clash of Stars in 2020?
Yes.
Oh my.
So it
When
took about 3 years.
Okay.
I rewrote it 4 times.
wow.
So there's really like 3 different stories that I had that were about the same kind of basis, like for the Clash of Stars. But I ended up plotting that, and then I plotted out everything else. And then I did the origin story, and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. I'm not rewriting this again because I will lose my mind if I rewrite it again.
Was the prequel part of the first edition of that story? Or did that come later?
So when I was so in the third draft of writing, I was like, okay, I want to like make this a real place. And so I have a whole like 20-page Google slide that you could go. I'm not sending it. It's a secret slide.
Oh yes, yes. Top secret.
Super
But
secret.
it's the Google Slides, and then I have like a document, like a couple pages that I just typed up a background, like a history. So that came like in the writing process of book 1. And then I just kind of at the end of book 1 is when I plotted out everything else, and I was like, this is how I want it to go. This is what's going to happen.
Oh my god.
I'm so pumped.
Honestly, the prequel, I was so hooked.
Same. That was like, honestly, the prequel might have even been one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah.
It was immediately had me hooked. It was so good. That's why I had to ask. I was like, was this always the intention to just rip out your heart immediately after that? Or
It's funny. That's a theme that people ask.
Yeah.
I posted a thing on Instagram, and it was like, are you gonna rip out my heart in book 2?
Oh my gosh, I just saw that today.
I had 4 people ask me that like the first like
Yes.
hour, and I was like, I can't
Can't
deal
tell
with
you
this
that.
right now.
Well, you set it up for it to just like rip our hearts out.
I did, but I tell everybody, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
It's for a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say that when I was writing it initially, I knew that I wanted it to be. Is this a spoil? Can I say spoilers on here?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
already decided. We were like, we're pretty sure this has to be spoilers.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to check before I
Yeah,
started saying
that's
stuff.
yeah. Good ask. Good ask.
When
Spoilers.
when I wanted this story to be, where she's very naive in book 1.
Mhm.
She's very naive. I wanted people to feel frustrated with her and like feel what she was going through.
Yeah.
And feel the pull for both of the guys. And
Yes.
I wanted us to have that. I wanted people to have that feeling. And then at the end of the book, I wanted there to be like not a, oh, not a clean slate, but an end that people can feel a certain way about one or the other. Because book 2 is definitely gonna make people happy or make people sad, like make people mad,
depending on how you felt.
depending on how you felt at the end of it. So
Oh my gosh.
I definitely the prologue and then into the main story, I wanted people to kind of have that background of like her first love and moving into that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I felt the full swing of emotions as I
did
went
too.
through that.
Yes. Well, and you know, it's like I was explaining it. So my first set of beta readers for the book, one of the girls was like, I feel like I'm, you know, my freshman year of college, and like I have these like different dudes that like, you know, tell me all these things and I'm feeling this way. And then the next week I have a new flavor of the week, you know, it's just, and she's like, that's how I'm feeling. And I was like, well, that's how you're supposed to feel with book 1. You're supposed to kind of be pulled in the different directions. And I did have a lot of people upset with me that it wasn't a white shoes.
We had a group chat for our book club, and then we were like pacing like about 100 pages a week so that we could try and do like, you know, talk about spoilers in there. And in the first 100 pages, I think I even messaged in there. I was like, is this a why choose? And I didn't know. Like,
some of our friends had already read it, and they were like,
they're like, oh honey, no.
Which I guess that brings us to another point about.
I had a dissertation that someone sent me as part of their it was part of their review, and they sent it to me, and they were like, listen, I liked it, but this is my true feelings about why it should be a why choose.
I mean, I thought it was setting up for a good why choose until one singular detail, and then I was like, oh, okay, scratch that. Like, this is a Mortal Instruments.
So funny because she messaged in the group chat and she goes, just kidding, I got there.
Yeah, I'm not that taboo.
I was so surprised, though. I was so surprised.
Oh my gosh.
It was, and you know, it's funny because when it started off, I knew that I wanted her to have this like group of guys that she was friends with, because I felt like I could relate to that.
Yeah,
like I had a good group
too.
of guy friends, and then I had like a couple of girls that I was really close with.
Same girl. Same.
Yep.
And I think I had like 2 friends still from high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask if you had an inspiration for Bethany. Is that the right
Bethany,
name?
yes.
If you had an inspiration for that, if you had a like instant friend like that you were just immediately like, yes, we are people.
Yeah, I do.
I love that.
Don't know how much we'll be saying aw, but we'll see.
That's okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Our hearts will be ripped out in that sentence.
Okay, well, see, now I'm way more thrown off because I originally didn't have trust there, and then like by the end of the book, I was like, oh, okay, that's still. I was like, oh, this is just like a nice actual girl friendship. Now you got me questioning everything again.
So it's funny. Little background. First book, I had like 3 different editors.
Okay.
And at the end of it, I was like, F it. I'm just, it's going. And like one day after like book 3 or 4, I can go back and like mess with it
Clean
again.
up or something.
And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So I have like my solid editor now.
There you go.
And she has book 2 that she's working on currently for line editing.
Ooh.
And she sent me a message, and she said, she was like, as a reader, I hate you a lot.
Oh,
she's
no.
Like, but as your editor, I'm giving you a standing ovation. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
It's a different, what just happened? Did I just give a thumbs up to myself? I think I did.
Like, I'm so proud of that.
I was like, we feel that way too. We feel
Well, I don't know. We'll see when I read it. I'm
yeah,
like
for real. I
a
might feel
like
a little scared.
it's I feel like book one is very much like a learning you're growing up, but
Yeah.
you're realizing like you're gonna be betrayed by people and it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. It's gonna be who you least expect it sometimes. And that moving into book two, she's very like she's coming into her own and like she doesn't hold back. And
Yes.
she just speaks her mind. She does what she wants. And
Yes.
it's much more I feel like she grows up a lot from book one to book two.
I
And
love
in book
it.
two, she's very quick to like call someone out. Like if she thinks
Ooh.
Oh,
something's going
yes.
on, like she's gonna say it. But I'm excited because the end of book two is the end of like her main POV. And
Ooh.
it's gonna move into multi
Split.
POVs
Yes.
Oh
for
my gosh.
three.
That's my favorite. That's literally my favorite way for fantasy romance series to go. Is to start with one POV so that it's like a little more hidden, but then like as the series progresses to get multiple. Literally my favorite. I'm
Right.
so pumped.
And
How many?
it was I as of right now have 6,
Ooh.
but I think that I've written about 30% of book 3.
Wow.
And I ended up writing and then I stopped and then I went back in and did the multiple POVs. I think I'm probably going to trim it down to 4
Okay.
because I think that the other 2 that I have are newer characters.
Have we met them yet?
One that you're going to meet in book 2
Okay.
and then another one that will be introduced in book 3. And I just think that maybe I'll hold off on that one. Like I just felt like it was not
Not the time.
I can't tell you who it is. I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you.
I love this suspense.
Oh, I'm so excited
though.
now.
Oh my
Oh, I'm so curious to see who we meet. And
Me too.
it's not somebody that we met in like the last few pages of book 1. I just had to ask, you know.
So, listen, I love a good theory.
Yep.
I
Don't
love a
tell
good
us.
theory.
Don't tell us.
I'm not, but I do love good theories. And I have a lot of people who have a lot of theories about who, where, when, like why for all of these people. And at the end, I I have Easter eggs in there,
I was about to ask.
but I've had one person, one reader who figured it out. And I did not tell her, but I had one reader that did figure it out out of everyone that I've talked to. And she was like, one. And she's like, I went back and reread. She's like, and then I reread in portions. And then I went and did like annotations.
Stop.
And she's like, and then I
As you
made these
should.
connections. She's like, I had a chart. And I was like,
yeah, same.
what?
Yeah, same.
I mean, let me also, I don't know if you can see that from that angle. Oh,
we were like devouring it.
We were
Look,
both picking out everything.
So this is my personal copy.
Oh, now I'm trying to see where those tabs
where are
are.
those tabs?
And I have little like notes like kind of throughout like just different little things. And I brought this with me we had a bookstore romance day.
Oh, was that the one that you went to? And you were in the pink dress? Was that?
Yeah. Well, that was my book.
Oh, okay.
That was my book launch party. This one was, I don't know if I posted a picture of
that
me.
pink dress was so cute.
I was wearing
me
like a purple dress.
Oh, cute.
But I went and I brought that with me and I sat it. And so people were coming in and people went to go pick it up. And I was like,
Not that one.
not that one. That one's mine.
That's mine. That has all
Don't
the
touch
secrets.
it, please.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it has secrets in there. And I have binders and family trees and
oh my
I mean,
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's a whole thing.
Do you feel like book 2 has been easier to write now that book 1 is done and some of like the foundation is done? Yeah.
Yes. And even so, it's funny because even finishing book 2, I was like, I want to go back and change this in book 1. I was like, but I'm not doing it. I'm leaving it alone. Book 2 was much easier to write and it was faster.
Mm.
And I felt like I learned a lot in publishing book 1 that I knew going into this one how I needed to structure, how to write, how to get it with betas and different things. And so I'm really proud of book 2.
Oh, I love
I
it.
personally feel like I love book 1, like that's my baby, but book 2 is like
You're real, babe.
Really proud of
it's
that.
like my real baby. It's like real good. And it's definitely spicier.
Oh,
Ooh,
hell
I was
Book
about to
2.
say, I just had to laugh and also say, Mom, I hope you're not listening to this episode. But,
so both of our moms listen to
sometimes
us
listen.
religiously.
But
Hi, moms.
I'm sorry, Clara, but the first time that my husband and I banged was also in my parents' house. So that made me laugh really hard.
So, I mean, it's relatable.
It's relatable.
Story.
It
I've
is.
never done that in my household home.
Oh yeah, it was our first time. We were 18, or I was 18, he was 19. Yep. Brings back memories.
Brings back memories for many of us, I'm sure.
Wait, so was that relatable for you too then?
Is that where it comes
Is that where it comes from? Yes. I was counting the years there. I was like, that sounds about right. 12 years together.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
I'm turning red. Okay.
No, it's okay. So,
I like a cherry tomato.
hey, Mom, cut this out here.
Don't listen to this. Listen, my mom. So, y'all, my mom. Okay. I told her I was writing this, and she was like, "Okay, that's cool." And and then I was like ready to like get it, like it was being published, and I told her, and she's like, "Wait,
Like for
you're
real?
being serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, Mom." And she was like, "Oh my God." And she was like, "Well, I can't read it. You have spice. You have spice in there." I was like, "Mom, it's like it's tasteful. Like it's not raunchy, you know."
Yeah.
And
Yet.
she was like, "I can't." And she's
Not
like,
at
"I can't."
all. That's so
And
funny.
so I didn't mention it to her again. And then all of a sudden I go to the house and I see my book sitting on the kitchen table. And I was like,
Did you
"Mom," I was like, "what are you doing with this?" She was like, "I read it." And
Did
I
you
was
get
like,
scolded?
No. She was like, "So we need to have a conversation about, is this connected to real life or is this just your imagination?" I was like, I don't know how to answer this question. I'm just going to go with full imagination. I'm a nun. Please don't. I'm not.
I've never done anything in my life.
Never done anything in my life ever.
It's magical baby. You know?
Yes.
Like the book. Magical baby.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
Did you think it was fun to have other people that you know really well, like family members or really close friends, read your book? Or was it like nerve-wracking or embarrassing to have them read the spicy scenes?
It was a little bit of both. So the first like family members that read it were my 2 sisters. And my sister Heather, who's the middle sister, she called me and was like, "Oh my God, I loved that." Like she loved it. And my other sister, who's my oldest sister, she called me after the tent scene, the dream tent scene.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And she was like, "Oh my God." She was like, "I was like hot. Like I was breaking out into hives." I was like, "Nicole, have you not read like anything like this?" She was like, "I mean, I read 50 Shades." I was like, "This is not 50 Shades."
No.
But sometimes that anticipation, though.
It's the slow burn. It is. It's definitely the slow burn. But yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. And because I'm a teacher, I mean, and I didn't tell anybody at work.
I was just gonna ask.
I didn't tell anybody. And then the week before we let out of school, I was talking to one of my really close like co-teachers,
So you didn't
and
even tell your work bestie.
no. And so I was talking to them and I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I had the book. And they were like, hmm?
What book?
They're like, what are you talking about?
I need this book.
And so I was like, oh, and then I had to tell them. So my entire school, within like a week, all of the teachers found out. And
How did
we
that go?
we went into summer, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
And so like it kind of like I thought I was like maybe people forgot.
Or
Like
they'll read it over the
maybe
summer.
Yes.
maybe they won't like
Yeah.
remember. And for my launch party, I had like 20, 25 of my coworkers show up with their
Oh,
That's
books.
so sweet.
And I was like
oh,
crying. I was like, this is amazing.
oh.
But so even now, like a couple of them are still like they'll read it and they'll come up and they'll be like, so listen. Like I've had one girl corner me in the elevator and she's
my
like,
gosh.
so can you tell me what happens?
No.
I was like, no, I can't tell you.
That would ruin
I
the
can't tell you
fun.
what happens. But it was cool. At first it was definitely scary and I didn't know how like my community would feel about it. And like I was in the paper and just like it was cool. It was cool. And I love that. But it's also still nerve-wracking to
for
know
sure.
that people who've known me since I was little, because I'm from a small town.
Yeah.
And so people who've known me my whole life, they're like, they know. If they read it, they know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, oh well.
Honestly,
It
though,
is what it
that's
is.
kind of what we've said too. Like, I would rather somebody who doesn't know me, like, listen to the podcast, and it's people who
Yes.
know you that it's like,
weirder.
Yes,
in a way.
absolutely.
Like
It
I
is.
appreciate
Totally
the
get it.
support, but at the same time, it's a little weird if there's like people that I know well that listen to
Yes.
certain conversations.
Well, it's weird because it's such a like people see you in one way, and that's like it's a vulnerable side of you that you're
Absolutely.
showing. And like when you create something like a podcast or a song or a book or whatever it is, I mean, you're putting it out there for people to like, you know, listen to or read and make their own thoughts and feelings
Yeah.
about it. And it's scary
Mm-hmm.
because it's like a part of you, you know, even though
Yes.
it's something you've created. And so you feel like
Right.
people are like looking at it and you're like, I don't know how I feel about it.
But we
But I just
we
smile
love
and
it.
I'm like, okay.
Well, we loved it.
I know. It was so
Just to be
fun.
clear, we loved it. We're very excited. When does book 2 come out again? What's the release date?
January 9th.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited.
And my ARC signups are this weekend, and that'll run through October. I was hoping for a cover reveal, but she's not done yet.
Oh,
Okay.
And I'm stressed, but it's fine.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
The cover is going to be similar to this one, but it's going to be white.
ooh.
And it's going to have like flames, and there's going to be some different items on the front, little Easter eggs on there.
I have a question about some Easter eggs.
Okay.
So we've got these different like people or beings, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do they all separate into their own world, or are they like able to interact still? Like,
So I can answer this question without spoiling things.
I'm trying to ask questions that probably
So this will help because in the beginning of book 2, the prologue is like centuries ago.
Okay.
So it gives you like a little bit of a past like snippet of people
love
and
it.
what was happening. Which explains what actually happened at the end of book 1, which is when the curse is broken, they're essentially the way I explained it, it's like they were in a bubble in this world, and like somebody popped the bubble and everybody goes back to where they were, sort of.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
And in the world, it's split into different kingdoms, and the beings and creatures belong to those kingdoms within the world. And that is explained like in the first 5 chapters. you kind of go through and you start to understand, like, okay, this is what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Because the curse suppressed everyone, like everybody's powers and abilities and things like that.
Yes. And so it kind of
That's good.
made me question about like some of the different beings that people could be. And
Uh-huh.
so I was questioning
Mm-hmm.
if Evander, is it Evander or Evander?
I say Evander.
Evander.
That's what I say
That's
too.
what matters.
So I say Evander, and
Evander.
and the nickname is Ev.
Which is so cute. I love
So
that.
cute.
And then you have Maddox,
Mm-hmm.
and then Luke, and then Griffin. So you were wondering what's your
I think Evander is the vampire.
Hmm.
She said,
Interesting.
interesting. She's like, I'm not going to give you any more details than that.
Interesting. I love it.
I was really giggling at the point where Claire's dad was like, "You're a witch." Okay, we grew up on TikTok and Instagram and everything, and what was Vine? Vine. Your sister's a witch, bro.
No, I love that you point this out because so y'all know who Julia McColgan is. I don't know. Y'all know who she is?
It sounds familiar,
So,
but I don't recognize. Yeah.
so she's an author. She wrote A Perfect World, and
Oh,
she
yes.
has. So she is one of my good friends, and she also beta read for book 2, and she could figure out all of my little
The Easter eggs.
nuance, like coming from like outside. So like books, like little nods to like stories and things. She's like, "Oh my God, you just put that in there." So I definitely tend to do that.
I love it.
A little bit.
It. I love it so. Like I was literally giggling, and I wrote like on a tab in the book, "Her sister was a witch."
It's so funny because she is so awkward in her own little sense.
Oh yeah.
Like, and she's so emotional. And like one of my friends was like, she cries so much. And I'm
She
like,
does cry a lot.
And I said, I know that. I said, I do know that. And there's a scene, and there's a scene in book 2, and I can tell you a little bit about it. Because eventually she is gonna have to see her mom again.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's gonna be able to see her. And in the scene, she's really upset about something and she's emotional, and her mom is literally looking at her and she's like, "Listen to me, you need to get it together." Like, I can't tell you exactly what she says, but she tells her a couple things, and she's like, "You cannot continue to let everyone else control how you are reacting." So it's a really cool scene, and my sisters loved that scene because they feel it like because Claire's mom is kind of like resembles my mom in a way.
Yeah, I was literally just about to. Oh, that's so sweet.
So my mom is really, she's so loving and empathetic, but my mom does not cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she doesn't
she's
play.
like, "No, dry it up. We don't have time for that." I think I've maybe seen her cry like maybe 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
In my whole life.
Wow.
So definitely Clara's mom is kind of not completely my mom, but
inspired
by.
Right.
Yeah, inspired by my mom for sure.
Well, and then sometimes you need that too, because I mean, I've been through plenty of situations where Jenna here has been like, "Let's pick this up. Let's come on."
That is probably our split. I feel
you need that to happen. You need someone there to do that.
Yeah. And so I really appreciated in this book that she hasn't been like just like letting her do whatever it is that she does. She like questions her. So I loved it.
I still don't trust mom. I don't know. I didn't trust mom.
You can trust mom.
Okay, well that's good.
I think you can trust mom.
That's relieving because I don't know. I didn't trust mom in this book 100%, but apparently I shouldn't trust Bethany, and I trusted her. So.
Well, listen, you honestly, you can never. I mean, I can't say that.
She's like, "Oh wait, backtrack."
I can't say One of my theories about about mom and dad was like, somebody was like, they're not even her mom and dad.
That's what I
too,
thought.
me
That's
too.
what I thought.
And I was like, yeah, they are.
Okay.
They
Okay.
they
Okay.
are.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But there are some things connected to them that you'll see eventually.
Well, is the
Um,
dad actually unalived?
Oh yeah, he died.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. I mean, we saw
He
the
did.
body. I know there's the whole
I know.
thing. Like, you
That's my rule.
gotcha.
That's my rule.
Oh, that's your
there's
rule.
no body, no crime.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Noted. Okay.
Well,
Well, that makes me think that.
no, there's spoilers. You can say spoilers.
No, I'm just mulling things over now.
It was so funny. So, we had one of the girls in our group was like, I didn't realize like the female character, she's so naive and all, kind of everything you were just saying, and I was like, I think it's supposed to be like that on purpose.
Yeah.
I was like, look at
is.
all of the other characters, and like, I think it's going to develop a little bit.
Yeah. Well, she's like the one out of the loop. It's like everybody else seems to have
Yes.
some ulterior motive. And as the entire book, she's just like constantly finding out that everyone around her knows something that she doesn't know. And like they might not all know what each other knows.
Right.
But they
Yes.
all know something, and she's just kind of left. It reminded me. So we were just finishing the Shatter Me series, and I felt like Juliet at the beginning too was like super innocent, also really emotional. It was like so Clara gave me those vibes of like,
Oh, absolutely.
just having to really grow into yourself as an individual.
She is, and you know, it's. I had a lot. I don't look at reviews, and I don't
You
touch.
don't.
No, I
Probably
don't.
smart.
I don't
I
look
feel
at
like
reviews.
that's good.
I
Yeah.
don't think that that's a place for me to go.
It would hurt my feelings if I saw I put something out.
You know, I've had a couple, like in the beginning I did, and because of some of my ARC readers, I was able to go and change a couple of things, and I was like, thank you, because that really needed to happen. But after that, I was like, I'm not doing this because this is where I want the story to go. And you know, people would send me trying to send me screenshots of like reviews that were not good.
Really?
no.
Why? Who
And
does
that is-
that?
And I was like, please don't send them to me.
You should never send a bad review to the author.
No.
Never.
That, I
No.
feel like that should be a rule. You should never do
Yeah.
that.
You don't
And I
tag
mean,
the author.
it's-
You don't mention nothing.
No.
Oh,
And it's like
I hate that.
I'm not. Here's the thing. This is my debut novel, obviously,
Yes.
Yes.
but I feel so strongly about the story, and I'm just. I hope that people can see, like you said. I hope people can see.
Yes.
Book one, she is supposed to. She's definitely. It is. You watch her grow into book two, and then you also. I mean, you continue to watch her grow,
Of course.
but I mean, there's a huge part of book two that is focused on her only.
You know what it makes me think
And
of?
but
Have you read Throne of Glass?
yes,
I figured you had, but it reminds me of Alien.
I've read the entire Mass universe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Is fantasy
I have.
romance your go-to genre to read, not just write? What's your
Actually, my
favorite
go-to
genre?
sports romance.
Yeah?
I was going to ask you
Because is that one's coming out before book two, right?
No, well,
Your
book
sports
two comes out in
romance?
January. Sports romance is gonna come out in May.
Ooh, a little summertime
So-
read. I like it.
I will be finished with that one by probably early November.
Stop.
Exciting.
So I'm excited.
Which was harder to write, do you think? The first one of A Clash of Stars or the sports romance?
First one of Clash of Stars. Hands
Yeah.
down.
Oh, I bet.
Writing a fantasy, like you're always questioning yourself. Like at night, I would lay there and be like, "Is that a plot hole?" And I'm like you're laying there and you're thinking like, okay, if this happens and then this happens, wait, and then you have this magic. So like, there's so many connecting.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine like, do y'all know what Teen Wolf is?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, Team Stilinski all the way. I I imagine like I'm like Styles Stilinski when he has the wall and he has all of the different colored strings. Like that's my life when I'm doing
Oh my gosh.
fantasy plotting. Sports romance is like I wrote it down. All right, let's do it. And then like I'm just typing. It's a very different thought process
I
for
love
me.
it.
And I feel like the sports romance was actually helping me with finishing book 2 because I got to a point in book 2 that I was like, I don't want to finish it.
Oh,
Like
really?
I was feeling because I knew what I needed to do to get to that point, and I didn't want to write it.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay. And so I started writing my sports romance on the side, and that really helped me.
Oh.
Now, full disclaimer, book 2 does end on a cliffhanger, but it's not like book 1.
I
Okay.
love
This
a
one
book
is
that
like
ends on a cliffhanger, though.
this one is like it's an end of her plot, big plot, you know. But I mean her story obviously is going to continue, but there is definitely a cliffhanger.
Oh, I'm
But
really
it's not as
excited.
hard.
Me too.
It's not as tough as book 1.
That's so fun. I'm
I
so
say
excited.
that, but I don't know how people are going to react. So,
But
It
to
might
be
just
clear,
be more.
it is all the same story. It's not like Bridge Kingdom or something that's like multiple duologies in the same world, right? It's like actually all the same story, just maybe
it's
more focused on other people.
yes, it's the same story. And it's going to be I mean I'm done with book 2, which is great. But book
Exciting.
3 is really cool because it's oh, I don't know if I can say the word. I don't know if I can say the word. I don't know. Ooh.
Oh.
Say it.
I'll say
Say
it.
it. Say it. Say it.
Say
It's
Say it.
very multi-dimensional. And it is very and you'll see you'll start to figure it out in book 2. And it is going to follow like I told y'all 4. So
Yes.
it's going to be 2 female main characters. One is Clara. One is one that you haven't met.
Not yet.
And then
So it's not
there's
Bethany.
there's 2 male ones as well.
Ooh.
2 male characters.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm too excited for January now.
So, what is your favorite kind of character to write?
So I actually had this conversation with my editor the other day, because we were talking about characters and character development and things like that. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what it is about writing a character that is really good, really, really good, and then they turn bad.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, what?
That is one, like, I love a villain arc.
Yes.
And I like to see a villain with enough background to see how they became the villain, because then you can still see why you have enough empathy to know why they're the villain. But at the same time you're like, gosh, this person is horrible.
Yes.
So I think that that's one of my favorite things to write, like character wise. But I also love like a little like golden retriever character.
Yeah.
And everybody tells me that Luke is my golden retriever
He
character.
is. Oh, he's a
And he
sweetie.
is. He's my little sunshine.
He's sweet.
I love Luke.
We love Luke.
I feel like specifically because of Luke is why I thought that it was going to be a why choose. Because it took me too long to really let go of the fact that he was not an option. I really held on that for a long time.
It's funny you say this because book 2, Luke is definitely going to be there. He's going to be involved in book 2. And he is a very interesting character. And his powers and abilities and his creature is one I think that many people will love.
Oh my
His
gosh.
creature. So now I would take that as a confirmed
Yeah.
he's gonna be something else.
I think so too. I think everybody in their group was like a different like creature. And so one of the
Yes.
things that we talked about in our group chat was that she found everything so easily, and I was like, I think that was the point.
Right.
Everybody wanted her
To
find
figure it out. But at the first half of it, you're like, God, really?
was
She's gonna
easy.
find that ring so easy. Like, it was so confusing. That as of on, you're like, huh, that's sketchy.
Everybody wanted her to break the curse.
Yeah.
Yes. So originally, the first 2 drafts I wrote, that about 50% of it was the variants.
Mm.
And I let 2 people read it, and I told them how I wanted the story to end. And I have 2 people in my life that know how the entire story ends.
Lucky.
And those are the 2 people that told me, you just need to change the variants into something that's a little bit more obvious. That way you can spend more time on the relationships between these people.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense though, because like in the beginning, like the variance wasn't like the main point. The relationships were.
Yeah.
And so like looking back on it, like while we were reading it, it was like, wow, that was easy. But then it's like, oh, because that's the point. It was
Yes,
supposed to be
because
easy.
and one of the people that read, where they said, you know, it was like this whole event for the variants, but really it was the whole book that
Yeah.
was like her competition.
Yes.
Like
oh my gosh.
going through and going through all of the different betrayals and the people, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
So definitely it's meant for her to be a walk in the park, to walk in and just, she's like, is that it? That's it? I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
that's it
For now.
for now.
for now.
I know. And I loved that the Matic lookalike was who she had to kill. I was like,
Now I'm going to clarify this, okay? Because some people went back and reread like parts of the book. I told them, like, go back and read this part of the book and you'll see a difference. She did not bang Theo.
oh no,
Okay,
no,
good.
no.
I didn't think
Okay,
so,
I just wanna make
but
sure.
that's good to confirm.
I just want to make sure.
But that
But
did.
everybody knows.
But your comment
It did
earlier about no bodies, this was what I was thinking about. But then I was like, I need to look through my notes because I wanted to confirm that I actually didn't see a body of the original Matic.
Yes.
And so I was like, I needed to confirm that. So I was like, I'm pretty sure that I don't remember there being a body there, but which is gonna make book 2 romance way more interesting now.
Yes, because if you think he's actually gone,
They're gonna be like the original, like the one that actually had all of that childhood tension. That becomes a lot more challenging than when you have to like forgive him for those years because it wasn't actually his fault. Oh man.
Yes, and I had a lot of people who felt very strongly about Matic.
like in a good way or a bad
And
way.
well, both. Like I had some that were like, I hate him. You can do nothing at all to make me like him. He's a terrible blah blah blah. And then you have the ones who are like, poor Matic. Like he just, you know, I had 2 different versions of that. I can't tell you book 2,
One of us is gonna be happy
But-
and one of us isn't.
but many people will be upset with me and many will be very happy with me
Oh my gosh.
for the first half of the book.
Oh my gosh. Well, so I was definitely of the team fuck Matic. I was like, you broke our girl's heart.
I don't know, but the thing is, like, as much as Ev has been like the bad boy that you want to like in this book, he's made so many comments about like, oh well, I'm going to be a different person, you know, when this is gone.
What about the mating bond?
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm like, I don't know. I know that's probably where it should go. No, a lot of people probably want it to go that way. I'm just saying.
We don't
I
know.
could totally. I mean, maybe when it was gone, maybe he wasn't faking it that it was gone. Maybe he was faking it that it was there. We don't know.
We've gone back and forth on
We
whether
have,
the
clearly.
bond is actually gone or not.
So I'm curious because
Oh,
I'm
no.
interested in knowing. I know this was supposed to be y'all asking me questions, but
Ask
I have
away.
questions. Um, okay, did you have any feelings or thoughts about the purple laced eyes?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I did.
I felt like I must have been missing something because it came up multiple times, but I didn't get what it meant, and I didn't know if I
Well,
was supposed to.
So Clara talked about how her parents also had that in their eyes.
They did, and I know that she did, but it wasn't always like a paired thing with him, was it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Was it only with him though? I thought it was like when she was using her power. That's why I'm like I need to look through. That's why I tabbed it.
I think she noticed it in his eyes, but then she would look in the mirror and notice it in her eyes after she noticed it in his eyes. And so I think so. But then every time she mentioned it, she would be like, "Oh, my parents had that."
Oh, so you think it's like a mating bond thing?
I think so.
Oh, that's why I need to look through my tabs again then. That's like one of those things that when you read it the first time, I feel like you don't this is probably funny for you to listen to this.
She's like,
I'm just listening.
Because I feel like I must have missed maybe the times when it had come up before were when she was like arguing with him or something. But I thought it was like when she was not using powers. I don't know. Maybe it was just when he was arguing
using
with
powers.
him. Yeah. Now I gotta go look again. Now I feel like I need to reread this book.
I know. I'm like, I bet there were so many Easter eggs that
I
we just missed.
know.
So I would wait until like right before you read book 2 because
Yes.
it really
Keep it
goes
fresh.
it goes right in from book 1 into book 2, like right back to back into what's going on.
Yeah.
I think definitely some things to pay attention to is the enamorado marking
Yes.
and also the purple eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
Need to be paid attention to.
Okay.
I think that when you will finally understand in book 2, because a lot about the world is revealed in its entirety. Like every secret is gonna be out in book 2.
Okay.
Like there's no more. There will be no more world secrets at that point.
Okay.
At the end of book 2.
One of the things I said when I finished was, I have so many questions.
Yes.
So book 1 is really kind of like a prequel in a sense
I love it.
to the rest of the story. Because book 2 definitely is in the realm of which is discussed in book 1.
Or at least the first half is what we hear.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Y'all, I'm so excited. I like want to give it to people.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet.
And I'm like, here,
Hard to
just
hold back.
read it.
This
It's great.
This is what I was doing.
And
Gosh,
it's
I love
funny because I wanted there to be I wanted there to be more focus on her. But one of the biggest things I wanted there to be a difference in between book 1 and book 2 is that book 1 is very much she is trying to find her identity, but she's looking into other people for who she is. So especially the dudes, you know, which I can relate. I mean, I can relate to, like, if I remember being in college, I'm like, if I am not with someone, then I am
am
nothing.
I?
Oh
yeah, that
so
has
I
been a
think that
very
definitely-
recent journey.
Yeah.
I'm definitely book 1 is her realizing that she don't need no man.
I love
She
it.
don't. And
All
in
she
book
needs
2,
is
it's like
chocolate chip
it's-
cookies.
And wine.
Yes, and wine, which she cuts back a little bit in book 2. But she definitely book 2 is like a I don't need you, but I want you.
Oh,
Love that.
That's one of my favorite, like, tropes, things, whatever. It's my favorite. I don't need you, but I want you.
She does not need anybody.
I love
All she
that
wants.
so much.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Also, I'm like just so it's like so exciting to see. Like I know you said it was hard, like you hit a point in book two that it was hard to finish it, but that says so much about you as a writer that you were able to push past that and not only finish book two, but like be so prepared coming into like what you want to see out of the next books and even be having another book coming out. That is just
Yeah.
something to be so proud of. Like it
Thank
has
you.
been so fun to watch. And what an amazing debut novel. Like
For real.
holy
Thank
cow.
you.
We've had so much fun talking about it.
Like, I know you say you don't
Thank-
want to read reviews and stuff, but they're so...
They're overwhelmingly positive. We'll tell you just for that. They're overwhelmingly positive.
Thank you. I feel like the more that I write and the more that I keep going, and let me backtrack and say that the best advice that I was ever given was from, I don't know if y'all know who this is. Her name's Maren Moore. She is a sports romance author. She is actually someone local with me. She's very successful. She does really well. And she told me, she's like, you write what you want to write, you write what you love, you put it out in the world, you say yay, and you keep going.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, don't look back. She's like, just keep moving forward. And she's like, and one day you're going to look up and you're going to be like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, I just did all this. She's like, because if you stop and you look at all the negative, she's like, because people are always going to have things that they don't like or
yes,
whatever.
always.
And she's like, there's always going to be, even the best books in the world and the best things in the world, people have negative things to say about. And she's like, don't stop and look at all those things. Just keep going.
Yes.
So I think that I'm really excited because book one, I didn't know what I was doing publishing wise. Like I was like, what's an arc? What is a PR box? What are these things that you're telling me?
Oh my gosh.
And so going into this, I feel much more prepared in knowing what
you're asking
need
for.
to do. Yeah. And I told my PA, I said, I think that deep down, I feel people are more willing to read a series when there's more than one book. Because
That's
people are like,
true,
I don't want to wait 7 years for this next book to come out. Sarah J. Maas. Anyways.
But also, how fun is it that we get to read this now? And now you're gonna have all these books, and it's just, I already know it's gonna be amazing. Like I'm just so excited that we got in now.
I love it, and one of the best I'm like getting emotional, and I am not trying to cry right now.
I am emotional too. I'll cry with you. It's okay. I really will.
Somebody who has like been watching me from the beginning, very beginning. She's been like, she's quiet. Like every once in a while she'll comment and say a couple things. And today she sent me a message and she just said, I want you to know that I was thinking about you today because I saw someone post about your book, like someone who's local to her. And she said, and I said, oh my God, she's going to make it big. And I was like, don't tell me this because oh my God, I was like, I'm gonna get my hopes up. And she's like, no, she's like, stop. She's like, you are gonna keep writing, and there's people who love your writing. And I said, you're right. I'm gonna keep going.
Yes.
And that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
I mean, look at us though. We're in Denver. We didn't.
Yeah, we're not local.
So cool.
We saw this on an Instagram page.
And we started a whole book club specifically around your book. That's how excited we were to read it.
Yes.
It makes me like want to cry.
It should, like, it's so sweet because it's like halfway across the country, and we were like, also, I freaking love your TikToks and your
Oh my gosh, same. One of us, I think, comments or likes on literally everything.
We literally love you so much. So not only are your books so fun and so awesome, and there's so much to come, you are an incredible person.
Yeah. We support you.
Thank
We're
you.
so proud to see
Yes.
everything you've done.
Like, we
It's
just want to
amazing.
be your,
Thank
like, your BFF.
Makes more sense now that we know you're exactly the same age too. The humor.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
We're the same. We're essentially the same.
Well, when you're ever in Denver, you know who to come to.
Please.
Look,
Please.
I have family in Denver, so in Highlands Ranch. I don't know if you know where Highlands Ranch
Yeah.
is.
So we're north of Denver, but
Okay.
We'll come to you.
Like, we have to let's go to a winery. We know some good places.
So I do have family there, and we always talk about that we want to go visit because my husband's never been there.
Oh my gosh.
But if I go, I will definitely let y'all know. You have to get wines.
Yes, that would be
That would be
amazing.
so cool.
What if we went to a football game?
Ooh.
Okay, so I need to say this because I don't think I've said it publicly yet, and I need to say it. Okay, so the writing for spicy scenes in this fantasy series, I like to call romantical spice.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
In the sports romance, it is not romantical spice.
It's spicy spice.
It's just spicy spice.
Oh.
And writing it has been the most fun.
I
I'm like, yes.
Does your husband love that you're writing it too?
Well,
Wait, what?
I said, does your husband love that you're writing it too? Because I gotta imagine that inspires some fun at
So
home.
he's not read anything at all. He knows because like I tell him everything. And the other day he came home and he was like, "Hey," I was like, "What?" And
What
he
did you
said,
read?
He said, "Is your sports romance about you and Nick Bosa?" And I was like,
Maybe.
I said, the Nick Bosa part is absolutely right. Me, probably not so much.
We can pretend,
I
right?
would never do that. Never.
Unless.
But yeah, it's been fun because when I told him I was writing it, he was like, "What even is that?
It's a
Like,
thing.
what even is it?" And I explained it, and he was like, I don't know." And I
Well-
had to explain romantasy, and he was like, "Romantasy? It's
What
just
is
it's a
this?"
book. Like, I
No.
don't understand." I'm like, "There's levels to this. Levels."
There are.
But
I
yeah,
have
I'm
the
excited
same conversation
about it.
Well, we read
And
both
it's-
types of spicy, so we're excited for
we
both.
And it's fun because I also read different types. I mean, I have no particular genre that I love more than the other. And why in the world did I start with a fantasy series? I don't know. I felt like that was like jumping off of a cliff. And I was like, why did I do that?
It's amazing, though.
But it's fun. And I mean, I read all sorts of things. I will not read nonfiction because
No,
I
same,
read that
same.
enough in my work and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anything fictional, I will pretty much read.
I love, love, love it. What are 3 words you would want people to describe your writing as?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I said I wasn't coming in with a hard question.
Put you on the spot.
Like what are we talking? Adjectives, nouns, verbs? Like
Whatever
any
you
word?
Teacher.
Whatever you would like.
Magical.
Mm.
There's a certain word that I'm thinking of, and I'm trying to remember. It's like in my brain, and I can't remember. I can tell you, I can explain it, but I don't know the word. I want people to feel like my writing is very movie-like.
Mm.
Yes.
Like I want people to feel like they're
Cinematic.
when they pick up the book. I want people to feel like when they pick up a book that they forget that they're reading a book.
That's my favorite kind of writing.
And then funny.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like people are for sure gonna laugh in I say that. My humor is not for everyone.
It was
But book
For
two,
me. Humor is for me.
book 2, Clara is funny. And she gives up, she bites back so fast. And it's that quick-witted like banter.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I love it.
Well, there were some things that other people would say to her, and she would just kind of like, that would like make me laugh. And
Her
I'm like,
internal dialogue.
yeah.
That's like,
Yes.
and then it would be so
Yes.
funny when she'd look over at Luke and be like,
Did that just happen?
"You didn't hear
Yes.
that."
Yes. And
That was
it's
funny.
that internal like monologue dialogue goes on in book 2. And one of my things that I was like, I can't say it. It's going to drive me crazy. Because if I say it, it's going to give things away, and I can't.
Oh.
But her internal dialogue, she finds ways to try to make it like, because you have your everyday thoughts, and then you have that inner part of your head that you have like all those subconscious thoughts flowing around. So she figures out ways to like manipulate certain things.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all saw my story a while back, but I dropped like, I don't know, I must have been really drunk because I said a quote about the book, and I was like, "Oh, I did. I posted that."
And it was like a total like giveaway.
Yeah. It was about her internal monologue, and
Wait, no, I totally did see that. I didn't realize it was like a.
Don't tell me because I might have missed it.
so she finds ways to manipulate using her internal monologue, which is fun. And I feel like I definitely laughed writing this book a lot more. Overall, I think it's just like a fun time.
I love it.
It's like a fun time. There's definitely more adventure, and there's a war, obviously.
Yes.
But they're kind of like in the midst of a war, like
that they didn't even know that they were like
gonna be dropped back into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's like, "What is happening?
What is this?"
So
we're awake again.
Like, yes, like we are like, "What is happening? Why is this happening?" I actually dropped the prologue in my newsletter. So some people have read the prologue.
Oh man. Okay.
And when they were reading it, they were like, "Wait a second," because I didn't add the centuries ago until after.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody was like, "Wait, is this now? When is this happening?" And so I went in and added centuries ago, and I was like, "Okay, that's better." It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine, but I'm dying. Everything's fine.
It's like the meme with the guy on fire that's like sitting.
Fine.
Yes.
Everything's fine.
My favorite GIF is the favorite is Elmo, and he's standing there like this, and the fire's behind him.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire. It's fine. But
Millennial humor.
I love it.
She's definitely she comes into her power more in book 2.
Yes.
So you get a little bit more of that dynamic and powers.
Yeah. Okay.
Plural.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely a lot more creatures involved. In my little arc posts that I've had, there's been little Easter eggs of the creatures that are involved.
Now when I go back and
That's what I was gonna say. I'm definitely gonna go back and like overanalyze every single symbol that's like in every post now.
But I love that though because we knew there were gonna be Easter eggs.
Yeah.
There are.
The end of the book was such a whirlwind. I need to reread it. That's how I ended it. Was like the
end of book 2 definitely has a lot of Easter eggs, and like I told y'all, the one person that figured out a couple things. So like, Evander has a brother. Like we learned that at the end of book 1, but we don't know who it is. But there are Easter eggs about who his brother is.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh.
I'm so pumped. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
I just want everybody to read it so they can know. But then then there's this anticipation of like, okay, when's book 3 coming out?
Oh, you're like, okay, but when's the next one? Like, I love this though because you're just like snowballing on all of these things, and you're like, well, now this is gonna happen. Because I also heard that like we just talk about like SJM a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that in her interviews, she'll hear what people are saying and she'll do the opposite in the next book. And so I'm like,
yeah, don't let us spin you in a different direction.
So what's so funny is I get snippets of SJM's interviews. Um, God, I don't know how she does what she now I know she started writing when she was 15, 16 years old. Like Throne Glass was like she was 16. Um,
Crazy.
which is insane.
Couldn't.
Um, but I was able to watch a couple of her interviews, and it's so funny because when she talks about things, I know what she, like I'm listening as an author, like,
Absolutely. You
what
have
are you
such a
saying?
different perspective than
Yeah.
we
Than
do.
we as a reader.
Yes.
So I'm like listening to her and I'm like, okay, so everything you're saying is a lie, and we should expect everything to
Oh,
go
hi,
up in
Dixie.
flames.
Oh,
Are you
Dixie's
coming to say hi?
Happy.
Dixie, come here,
Baby,
Jen-
what you doing?
Dixie, come here.
Hi.
So this is
What's
Jenna's doggy.
Dixie, come
Hi.
I know, she's so sweet.
Oh. Oh, my husband was ordering a Jimmy John's sandwich, apparently.
Oh.
Yes, sweetie. Dixie, Dixie, come here. Come say hi.
He's more interested in the Jimmy John's sandwich.
What was so funny is your voice whenever you were like, you realized it was your husband, you're like, oh, it's my husband.
A couple of years ago, I got a new puppy. And I had already been watching her puppy for like years. And then I got a new puppy, and she was like, should you really be doing that? And I was like,
mean,
yes.
You're
Yes,
missing
we should.
background, but yes.
It's in a very party girl phase, right?
Hey, you
And-
know we all been there.
It made me grow up. She truly, truly did. There she is. And
see her.
she's so sweet. And so our dogs became the best of friends, just like we are.
Yeah.
And it was just like the cutest thing. Like my dog Frankie would come here and she would hide from me, so I would not take her home.
Yeah, like if we
Aw,
would watch
she
her,
wanted to be with her friend.
like we would watch
And her
her when
friend.
she was out of town, and she literally would like curl into the side of the couch, and Shelby would have to drag her out of the door because did not want to leave the house.
She's like, these are my friends. They have treats. And I was like, I have treats.
I'm treated nicely, Mom. Leave me here.
Like, I know, like,
That's what I would say.
like, my dog is my child. Like, she is like
I get
the
it.
queen princess of all dogs. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, she's a golden retriever, and so she loves all of the social activity. But, and then, so the guy that I am with now has a dog, and now she's like, I'm okay. And it's so sad.
Yeah. So Dixie has been replaced.
Dixie,
Aw.
yeah. It is,
Poor
fine.
Dixie, that's what happens.
it is
That's
really
what happens
sad.
sometimes.
I know.
Do you have pets?
I do. I have a dog. His name is Tucker. He is a lab Catahoula mix, and he is also 12 years old.
Did you guys get them
He
together?
Well,
Kind of.
if you asked him,
You'd
no.
say
If you ask me, yes, because I helped take care and raise him.
Mm.
Oh.
No, he got him randomly. He was like, I'm going with my friend to go get a dog for our other friend. And I
And
was
then
like,
he gets a
don't come
dog.
back. I was like, do not come back with a dog.
He's like, whoa.
So I got a dog. I was like, great.
Of course you did.
This is great. Thank you.
That's me though. Gianni, I will see like little baby golden retrievers or golden doodles.
Oh my God, Shelby.
She's like, don't do it, don't do it. Gianni's like, don't do it. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it, you guys.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm not going to do it.
And then I'm like, I did
I'm not gonna
it.
do it.
It's totally my personality.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I did it.
I did it.
She will, though.
I will.
She
I will. I did. I did.
She
With
did.
Frankie, I did.
She did.
Oh, well, Britt, what are some of your really bad writing habits or reading habits?
Oh, let's start with the reading habits.
That's probably easier.
So when I am in teacher mode, I am very much a mood reader. Like I need something that is going to like be the smuttiest of smut.
Oh, hell yeah.
I need something that can just distract me. But in the summertime or during the holidays, that's when I like dive in. Like I have, where is it at? I have it right here. I have this,
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
and I haven't read it yet. I'm waiting for a holiday so I
Winter
can
break, you have-
process it.
No,
Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
So Thanksgiving is the next big holiday. So that's my plan, is I'm going to read this one, and that way I can go ahead and read Iron Flame.
Perfect.
So I can go ahead and do those two things
Gosh.
while I'm thinking. Like, I can actually think through things.
100% girl.
Writing habits. Don't know. I don't know.
Oh, girl.
I feel like every time I sit down to write, I deserve a treat.
Oh, yes. You do.
So like it's like Pavlov. Is that Pavlov theory?
It is Pavlov's
That,
dogs.
like, you ring the bell. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's like in my head, I'm like, I am rewarded.
Uh-huh.
I get cookies.
100%.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Put my wine
And wine?
It's Oreos, but
Oh.
I'll put the Oreos down, and I'll just be like, okay, I'm rewarded for doing this today.
Oh my gosh.
Other than that, writing, I have so many works in progress, like things that I've started, and I'm like, no, I gotta focus on these first. And I definitely do the same thing with reading. Like, I'll start reading a book, and then I'll like get distracted at work, and then like the next weekend I'm like, wait, what happened to my book?
Yep.
Where is it?
I do it too.
And I also do it on purpose sometimes. So like with the Throne of Glass series, I look at me, I did my thumbs up again.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I don't
Can
know
we
why I
thumbs
keep
up
doing
you?
that.
I want to thumbs up you. How do I do that?
I don't know if it's me or if it's like
That's
You like
so
touch the
cute,
screen
though.
or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I love it though.
know.
I love the thumbs up.
with the Throne of Glass series, with the Kingdom of Ash, have y'all read it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Kingdom of Ash, I got about halfway through, and then I took the book and I went and hid it in my closet.
Understandable.
And I hid it in there, and my cousin called me, and she was like, so, did you finish?
You're like,
and I was
no.
like, I don't even know where it's at. And she was like, you're lying. Go get it. And I was
She
like,
knew.
okay.
She knew.
And she was like, you're going to finish it by like this Thursday. And so I was like, okay. And so I got
She
it, and I
needed
finished.
somebody to talk to.
And I FaceTimed her, and I was like, mascara.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, and she was like, oh, that's just the first part. You got to keep reading. And I was like, what?
Yep.
Oh, I know what you're talking about too.
Yep.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
So, anyways, I was an absolute mess.
Oh, yes. Me too. I was literally sending her Snapchats of me during the entire Kingdom of
Oh,
Ash
so
just
funny.
sobbing.
Yeah, I was the one that forced all those books into her hand, so it was funny to watch her reaction.
So the reason we even started all of this is because she gave me her version of ACOTAR.
Yes.
She goes, I was in the middle of pharmacy school, and she goes, you have to read this right now. And I was like,
right now, today.
I don't have any fucking time. She's like, you can take as much time as you want to.
She
read
took a
this."
month. It was
You're
to
doing
read
it
ACOTAR,
now.
just the first one.
Yep.
And then the second one, it was like 2 weeks. And then the third one, it was a little bit less. And then
Yep.
that is how this
Hi,
all
honey.
got started. And I was just like, because
Well,
of
and did y'all
ACOTAR.
read in high school?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in high school,
you did?
yes.
I
yes.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read, not Vampire Academy. It was,
Yeah, that was the one that you read, wasn't it?
no, Vampire Academy is the one with, like, the Russians.
I haven't read it.
It was,
Was it Vampire Diaries?
no, but I love the Vampire.
We love the show.
I love Vampire
I'm
Diaries.
watching it right now. You posted a story sometime recently talking about that, and I'm literally just started rewatching. I'm like on season 2
I
right now.
started rewatching it. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
No, I like loved Aragon, and I loved
Yes.
Harry Potter, and I remember my 8th grade teacher convinced me to read Twilight, so I read Twilight.
8th grade had to convince you?
Well, I mean, I hadn't read anything like that, I think, at the time. She was the one who put it in my hand.
Oh, I love
yes.
it. I love
I'm
it.
trying to think of what else. Maze Runner, all of the like
Oh,
classic,
so good.
Divergent, all of the classic dystopian or fantasy things. I was like super into all of that.
I'm trying to find, because I literally just
I
recommended
know.
this
I just remember it's like it starts with marked, and there's like
Yes,
it's like a
marked.
black cover with a white face.
Oh, marked and is it carved?
and Charmed
What-
and
Charmed. Yes, all of those.
Yes.
I know. I have them.
Oh, and I just
can't think of the
reread
name.
one of them recently. No,
What about
'cause-
you? Did you read when you were in high school?
I did. Same thing. I read Twilight and Harry Potter and Maze Runner and I read the Lux series, which
Did
was
you?
it wasn't the Jennifer L. Archimont one. It
Oh,
was
it's a different
it was the historical romance
one.
young adult series. Um I read that and then I read a couple books on and off for years and then when I got pregnant with Ellie, I started reading again. And one of the first books I read, I think was, I know when it was. It was sometime during that the whole thing was I read Akatar, but I read
yes.
The Stopover by T.L. Swan.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all,
I read that. I love it.
that caused me to get Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, heck
And
yes.
Best
I
choice.
was like, I'm reading every book that
On the
exists.
face. Same
Like
here.
I just started reading everything. It was such a cool like thing to go through, like reading wise, because I'm like, people, what do we talk about? Like TV shows and things like that.
Yeah.
But books is so cool to talk about because there's
Mhm.
so many things that you can discuss.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's so
You know.
different.
It is different.
So it's the House of Night series.
That's what it is. House of Night.
I've also read Vampire Academy if you haven't read it, highly,
Mhm.
highly recommend it. I read it my senior year of high school and I would get it from the lady that I went to at the tanning bed. And she would
Good times.
here you go. Here's the next one. And
Oh my gosh,
so
cute.
Enjoy
fun.
it.
I was like, I finished. I need the next one now. And I think there's like 5 or 6 in the series. And it's so, we love a good ding.
I feel like you
So good.
I feel like you're going, ah.
For
That's what I feel
real.
like I should start doing. I'm not Catholic, but it seems like an appropriate thing to do.
Like you should be praying right now.
That's what I felt like just now.
Hey,
Whoops.
we do that all the time in our podcast.
Yeah. Well, like
And you know,
randomly.
I'm banned of having glass. This is plastic.
Am
Because
I?
I break all of my wine glasses.
Me
This
too.
is the last. This is not even a wine glass. This is just a glass.
Is that a
This is my
Christmas
favorite
glass?
Chris-
I love
Let me
it.
hold on. Let me show you my Christmas my
That's
Christmas
what
thing.
I say.
We can pretend.
This is from TJ Maxx.
I love TJ Maxx.
No, this is like
Oh
one of my
my
favorite
gosh.
mugs. And he's like, I bet you won't break that one.
You're
And I
like-
was like, no. And I just dinged it on this glass.
It's okay. When we filmed our episode for Ledge, by
Stacy Mickey one.
thank you. I was
Stacey
like, what's her-
McCowan.
oh
Cowan.
my god,
That's
she's
how I'm supposed to
freaking
say it.
hilarious. Cowan. We were so drunk.
Oh,
I
it was
went- It
bad.
was like beyond another level. I dropped an ice cube in a glass and it shattered, and we were like,
Which I didn't even know could I mean, it was pretty thin walls, but literally it was just like the ice cube dropped in and it just went.
and, and we were like,
Never seen that before.
okay.
That is a science. So what you did was you did a science experiment.
Yes.
That's all it was.
did.
Yes.
We did, and
There we
then
go.
we drank another bottle of wine.
And
That's
then
the only way
I
to do things.
spilled wine on my book for the 3rd episode in a row.
It was so funny though, because we've been like connecting with some other podcasts, and one of them is It Gets Good, and they did a whole thing on like, have you spilled wine? on
Bookish
a
bad
book?
bad habits. That's what it
Yes.
was. Bookish bad
And
habits.
so we mentioned them, and they were like, "Oh my god, we do that all the time." It was
Yeah,
so
I think
funny.
I'm more
I
likely than her.
spilled, but I also I'm a spine cracker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've been trying so hard, but I.
And I'm a dog ear.
Are you?
Mm.
Yeah. It's bad.
So
I
some
know.
bad reading habits.
It's bad. Yeah, I definitely do that. And then
Oh my
I
gosh,
also
I
will
love
take
it.
like I'll take a book and I'll be like put it down somewhere and like
Uh-huh.
leave it there and then I'll just like pick it back up.
Hey, you
and just
bought
start
that
reading
book.
it.
You can
Yep.
do whatever you want to it.
See, I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm more prone to using random crap as a bookmark than I am
Oh
to
yeah.
I
dog
love a good
earring.
sticky note.
Oh no, I mean,
Sticky
I'll
notes
like
good.
stick a candle on it or something like that'll just like hold it open. Like anything that is a physical object that'll hold it at the page. Like really random items.
Hold my page.
Or
Hold
like
my
I'll be
page.
cooking and
Hold
I'll put
my
my
page.
spatula.
Put the shoe on there.
Hold my page.
It's honestly that's a problem because I've gotten my pages very dirty from putting very
I
random
have
things
too.
on them.
I felt so bad because when I borrowed her copy of Akatar the first time, I did not realize what this meant. And
It was so wet and damaged.
so bad. But I didn't know that until right now.
It's fine. I mean, I still love you. It was, to be fair, it wasn't. I do have a copy of the original covers. It wasn't that one. I gave her my like regular paperback, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she first gave it back, I was like, wow, I don't know that I want to lend you any more books.
And she's like, just take the other two right now. Don't let me see it.
Just take
Take it.
I know.
Take it.
I don't let anybody take like I had the hardback for Crescent City ones.
No,
And, like,
she gave me.
I took the dust jacket off. I can't do it. I
yes.
used it as my bookmark, like as I read.
I do that.
Oh yeah.
Like I would put it in there.
Yep.
That looked inappropriate. I don't put it in there. Whoops. But yeah, I don't let anybody borrow those.
Well, and then you let
'Cause
me
I
borrow
also-
those, but
I
at that
did.
point I knew.
She
Because
learned.
Your
She learned.
A Court of Silver Flames was, I think it was hardback.
It was.
And so
It was kind
you
of
were like, you be nice to
I think it was after Silver Flames that I was like, I'd
You
really
should
appreciate it
let
if
me
you didn't bring it in the bathtub with you.
And I was
If it's my book.
oh.
Or a pool, or your tears, either one.
I was like, oh, that's a thing? I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. But then I was better about it.
You were
And
much
now
better.
I lend my books out and I'm like, you be nice to
Sign
us.
this policy right here that says you will not put this in the bathtub.
It's okay.
Oh
To be
my
fair,
gosh.
I love to lend books out to people because this is my house that we're at right now. That's part of why I like to collect
That's
physical
cool.
books is
Yes.
because
I love it.
I constantly am trying to like hand books off to people.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
like, I think you'd like this. I think you'd like that. So for the most part, I'm like pretty cool about it. As
Oh my
long
gosh,
as
tell
it
her about
eventually makes its way.
Your
back.
unhinged Goodreads.
Well, so I just, like I said, I like to lend books out and I like to give book recommendations to people if they ask for them, but you read, you know that not every person is the same. So, you've got the books that you'd recommend to mom, and you've got the books that you'd recommend to coworker. You've got the books that you'd recommend to somebody who likes smut. Like there's a whole range there. So I did make some different Goodreads folders. But if
Your
you've seen,
unhinged.
have you
Goodreads.
seen like the unhinged Spotify playlist names? That was like my inspiration.
No, but I just had I thought we were talking about the unhinged book.
Oh,
The erotic unhinged book.
no, do tell. No, don't. What are we talking about?
It's a shapeshifter door romance.
There's a pillow one too. Not even by the same author. I've seen that girl too. God, I die laughing every time I see any of her going through those ones of the inanimate objects romance.
Yes.
Well,
People have got a lot of
Shape-shifting door.
kinks. A lot of kinks that you don't know about.
I don't foresee myself doing that with a door, but good for them.
Okay,
You
no.
know?
maybe not that kind of unhinged.
No, that was not. It was
It's a different.
It
Okay,
is.
I
They're not that
understand
bad.
now.
It's more like I have a folder that's like I'm just a baby. That's like for all my YA reads. And have you seen?
Happy the baby.
And have you seen Grandma's Boy? Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you'll get this reference, maybe you won't. But if you remember the scene where he goes, "You'll never have robot legs." That's so that's my folder for all my sci-fi recommendations.
Tell him about this. We were dying laughing.
So did you make the folders first, or did you create
Yes.
the names first? So what were the old names?
Oh, no, sorry.
For the
I made the folders and then I added the books to. Like, I had a vision for what fit in them, but they're just all equally I don't know, chaotic. Yeah. But they're funny to me. So I also have a regular ones like Safe for Work, which are my ones that I can recommend to coworkers, and
God, I love it so much.
and you'll like this, Mom, I think is maybe what it is for family friends.
Mom, this is in our last episode we were dying laughing so hard because we were talking about tropes. And we were talking about Credence. Have you read Credence? And
I started Credence.
you couldn't finish it.
I don't DNF books. I refuse to do it. I refuse to DNF books. That was a I'll see you later book.
Yes.
And it's on my shelf and I'm gonna see it later.
Yes.
Yep.
Understandable.
But not right now.
Understand.
Fair.
Like, you need to be in a state of mind for that book. And in this,
I was not ready.
We're
No.
talking about why chooses, but like very specific why chooses.
That's very
And
taboo.
I said,
Yes.
Mom, if you read this book, like you might like this, but like don't tell me about it.
No.
And
Yeah, we don't need to discuss.
No.
Because my mom was the one that introduced me to 50 Shades of Grey. And we would go see them at midnight before they came out. My mom is like,
Her mom is awesome.
my mom is freaking awesome.
No, my mom's awesome, but she reads like Karen Kingsbury.
Oh yeah, no, my mom reads
Do you know who
50
that
Shades
is?
of Grey.
Okay. Karen Kingsbury is like, she is like a Hallmark Christian author.
Oh yes,
Oh.
oh yes.
Okay.
And so my mom is like, I got the new Karen Kingsbury today at the library.
Good
And I
job,
was
Mom.
like,
I'm proud of you.
I read something by Sarah Kate.
Oh, we love
Those
her. Oh my God. The
Salacious
Salacious
Players
Players Club. Oh.
Those are our
Y'all, that was
favorites.
so
Mind blown.
That's one of my favorite
The best.
Us too.
favorites.
That's like my favorite of any book that is like mostly smut, right? It's mostly
Yes.
smut, a little taboo. 1000%.
Praise.
That
Yes.
series is my favorite series.
I
It's so
said-
good.
So good.
Gianni.
Gianni's her boyfriend.
Oh yes. I thought we were yes.
My inferencing skills just now. I'm starting to figure it out. That one, and then Birthday Girl by
Penelope Douglas. Uh-huh.
I made her read that one too.
And I was like, yes.
I was like, this is great. I'm like, I'm sitting on my mom because I live 5 minutes from my mom's house. And like on the weekends, like I go hang out there. And so like in the summer I had it. And she's like, what are you reading? And I was like, nothing. Nothing.
Nothing for you.
And so when I explained it to her, she was like, I don't think that would be for me. I
You're
was like,
I'm
probably
glad you
not.
think that.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. And then my sister's like, can I have it next?
You're like, yes.
You can have it next.
I wish my
You
sister
can have it
read
next.
because she doesn't. But my mom listened to our last episode and she goes, so should I read the book Credence? And I was
She asked you that already? Oh my gosh.
she listens to it the day it comes out. Like,
Aw.
like she is like,
That's so sweet.
What a good mama.
like she loves it. So my mom's young, and she was like, I read everything you do, and I just want to hear everything. And
Aw.
it's so stinking cute.
She's
She's like, so would I actually like that? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I want to like talk. She goes, okay.
I think you'll like it, but
think-
I don't want to
yes,
know if
I
you
think
like
you
it.
would like it, but like, don't tell me about it.
Don't tell me if you read it. Oh my gosh.
So funny. Oh my gosh. All right, Britt, what is the best compliment that you have gotten?
Okay, so it was someone who signed up for an ARC like way back, and she never read it. And later on, there was like one random weekend, I get these messages from her, and she's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I waited this long to read this book. She's like, Britt, she's like, I loved every minute. She's like, I'm ready for the next one. And she's like, and you are going to now be an automatic buy author for me. And I was like,
Tears.
Oh,
Because,
that's
like-
so sweet.
because I think about like my automatic buy authors.
Uh-huh.
And like for someone to say that to me, and I'm like, yo, I'm just like this little pea, like I'm little bitty in this
Aw.
big thing. But it was like that really made a big impact on me. And like I call my mom And I was like, oh my
Oh.
gosh, someone said this. So it was like, it was a very emotional, but it was the best
Gosh.
compliment I ever had. And
Well,
I loved it.
I hope you know you are now on that list for me.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously.
obviously.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
I feel like we probably already said that, but yes, in case that wasn't clear, I'm pretty sure that we will fine immediately read anything that you release.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you.
Like, we weren't kidding when we say we like literally every time we see your TikTok or anything, just like
Thank you.
we just like giggle with you.
Look, sometimes I'm like, I question myself and I'm like, what
No.
am I doing?
No,
No, it's awesome.
And like one
You're
of my,
so
like one of the
funny.
videos I videoed in my car like in the morning because I have to be at work at 6:50 every morning. And so like I'm in the car and like one of my friends like screenshotted my picture and sent it to me and she was like, you look bald in this video.
You're like, thank you very much. Thank you
I was
for
like,
that.
could you have told me that like, I don't know, 6 hours ago when I posted it? I love it. It's
Oh
super
my
fun.
gosh.
I feel like I've made a lot of like really good connections and like
Yes.
wholesome connections with people. And like I'm going to Oregon in August for Books and Beaches.
Yes,
Oh,
I just yes.
And then
Most of
I'm
my
gonna be
family's in Oregon. I love that.
Oh, I've never been to Oregon.
Oh,
So
it's
excited.
beautiful. You'll love it.
And then I'm gonna go to Lexington Legendary Book Bash.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about that
So
one.
I'll be there for that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
So I'm excited. I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm thinking in my head, like by the time I go to Oregon next August, I'll have 3 total books published.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I'm like, that's big. Like that's
That
It is so big, Britt.
a big change.
Yes.
In my life. And people joke at work, they're like, so when are you gonna quit teaching? And I'm like, y'all, I gotta get a lot more in before I can quit teaching. But I'd love to.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
love to quit teaching.
I
But
get that.
it's been a fun ride. It's
That
been
is so awesome.
very unexpected and in the best way
Oh,
that it could be.
I
So
love that.
I'm excited to see what happens next.
I'm excited for you.
I'm very much the person that's like I have lost a lot of people in my life and I know how fast life can change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to like have any regrets like in my life. Like I want to be like, I did everything that I wanted to do. And so that's kind of my mindset on writing and publishing. And I don't want any regrets going into the end of my life whenever that does happen.
I love it. I love it because it's so true. It's so true. Like you never know what's going to happen. And so you just have to like choose to be happy. You have to do what you love. You have to do what you want to do. You have to choose to be happy.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. Your book makes me happy, girl. This made me happy.
Thank you. I think overall my feelings about it are it's a happy sort of story.
Yes.
That it ends, but it doesn't necessarily end. It's
right.
I like to say that it's just the beginning. So, because every new end, what's that song?
Oh,
Closing Time. It was it's like every new beginning ends. Every new ending is a new beginning, something like that.
Something along those lines.
Something like that. That's how I like to reference it to that. Closing time. I think of Justin Timberlake every time I think of that song too.
I think of my college bars because every time they closed, that's what they played.
Bar closed. 100%.
Yes, every single time.
And it was like, oh, we're too drunk.
It's the go-to.
Yep.
It is the go-to.
I feel like it's gotta still be that. I don't know.
I
guess we don't really go to bars.
Sure still do. I don't go to bars. I'm I'm in bed on the weekends. Like I have a bachelorette trip with my cover artist this weekend.
Ooh. Oh my God. And you're going to be like, hey.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Where is it?
But it's going to be in New Orleans and we're super excited. And it's the group of girls that it is. It's really chill.
Oh my God.
And one of the girls that's going, she's like, so like, are we going out? And I was like,
I hope so.
I hope not.
Oh,
I was like, if we
Oh,
go, like,
not.
I was like, can we be back before midnight? Like,
Can I read my book before I
yes.
go to bed?
Oh,
I don't wanna
before
do that.
midnight seems so reasonable.
It
That's
seems like
so
a reasonable time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And that's what I was working on before I got on to talk to y'all. I was working on a PowerPoint presentation. We have a game night and we
Oh my
have
God, that's
different themes. And so mine was how long would Aline make it in the Hunger Games? So it's gonna be good.
Oh my God,
Oh,
that's
You'll
so
see lots
fun.
of content on I'm sure on my
Heck,
TikTok from that.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Because
gonna be
not
so
always
fun.
is it book stuff. Sometimes it's just fun.
No, I love it though, because that's one of my favorite things though. Like, to be able to understand more about the authors that you're reading from is just like literally the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, a person, not just an author, but a person.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been really fun for me because I don't know. I feel like anytime I talk to somebody, I'm like, I'm just me. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I got to crash a book club,
I
a local
saw
book club.
that.
And it was a surprise. So like only like two people knew
Oh my
that I was
gosh.
coming. And when I turned the corner, they all were like, and like one girl got up and like hugged me, and I was like, y'all, it's just
Like, I'm
me.
gonna cry.
Oh.
And so it was cool because they're teachers too, and so we got to kind of bond over that. But
we're having
it's been
our
a-
book club on Thursday.
oh my gosh, I'm sure y'all are excited.
We'll take pictures and we'll take
Take
you
lots
in
of
'em.
pictures.
We
Yeah.
will. And this is so cute. We were like, you guys, we have an interview with her on Tuesday, and people are like, what?
Which, thank you, by the way, for being flexible about that. I had
Seriously,
to,
thank
it was like
you.
fairly last minute that I had to go to Boston, so I really
It's
appreciate
just
that.
fine. And actually, I'm gonna be honest, it works out better
Good.
Okay.
because Thursday night I have to go to so a bunch of our boys, they have like a I don't know what you call it, a mentorship with the high school football team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they get to go walk onto the field before the game on Thursday because it's a
Aw.
Thursday night game. So I'm gonna be there.
Oh,
So it works out.
sweet.
Good. I'm so glad. And Britt, we just appreciate you so much.
We do.
Like, we love your presence, and yeah. Thank you
Don't
so
make
much.
me cry right now.
We're gonna cry too. It's okay.
We
Get
just
it.
appreciate you, and we're so
Get it
proud of
together.
you.
I know, same. Like, we seriously do though. Like, I so excited for you to have published this,
Thank you.
and we are
So excited for January.
excited.
I'm dying.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for y'all. I think it's gonna be. I think people will be happy. I think at the end, I think people will be like, okay, this
See
makes
the
sense.
vision.
Yes. At first, it's gonna be a little rough, but we'll get there. But I'm really excited.
I love that though. We've talked about this too. Like, any book that can like pull on my heartstrings, that's the book for me. Like,
Well, it's
You
gonna
can make me
keep
cry.
pulling.
ooh.
It's gonna pull you along. It's
Hell yeah.
it's not as much crying as much as it is
Right.
anger.
Ooh, I
Ooh.
like
Yeah.
that.
Love it.
Like
A lot
that.
of anger and hostility in
Mhm.
book 2. So it's a
I
nice
like
emotional
it.
shift
Mhm.
for sure.
I love it. Well, Britt, are there any last words that you have for us?
Yeah.
I just think y'all, I mean, this is the coolest thing. And like when I tell my mom or, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on a podcast or, whatever. I'm gonna be
So
interviewed. They're like, oh
official.
my gosh, it's so cool.
The same way about you.
Same.
And this is the coolest thing. And like, you don't have to do this at all. And you chose to,
Yeah.
and thank you, because you have allowed people to get to know me, and I've got to know other people and get to know you. So I just thank you because
Yeah.
it means a lot to me.
Oh.
So thank you.
I hope you know, when we saw this book on Instagram, I was like, we have to interview her. I was like, do you see her? She's so cool.
Yeah.
You think I'm cool? That's so awesome.
I think
I
you're
love
We
it.
do. We do. Well,
And
like we said, your humor is 100% our humor.
Yes.
Thank
Like
you. It's
every
not
single
for
TikTok you
everybody.
have, it's
It's
for
not
us.
for everybody.
So we think it's for everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But for real.
But that's really just I'm just really thankful and grateful, and I hope that there's a day that, a couple years from now that, I'm not teaching anymore and I'm writing full time, and
Just that's your job.
I'm gonna manifest it, and
Yes.
and I will always remember all of you who have supported me like right now. So thank you.
And anytime
Seriously.
you come to Denver, let's go get some wine.
We'll
Let's
buy a
go
glass of wine.
Absolutely.
We will absolutely buy you
will.
some drinks.
Yes.
Of course.
Please.
But we'll have you home by midnight, don't worry.
Yes, by midnight. I'm like
I
Cinderella.
love it so much. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again for joining us. We're just so
Thank
appreciative.
y'all.
Thanks for taking time out of your day.
You were
Oh, yeah,
literally
this
the
was great.
best.
Thank y'all. I
I know.
appreciate it.
I would hang out with you like literally all night.
Thank you. I'm a great sleepover person, and I'll read you stories.
Slumber
and
party.
It's a great time, and I won't
Yes.
freeze your bra. I put that I put that back in middle school. I don't do that anymore.
We appreciate that.
Very
You're
kind of you. Oh my gosh.
Well, we will let you go, and we will
Okay.
probably also go to bed.
Okay.
But we love you so much.
Love you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
And how do I get out of here, y'all? So I just hit the button.
Awesome.
Bye, y'all. Exit. Oh my god, that's so
How do
funny.
I?